Okay. So today I'm recording from Hilo, Hawaii. I recently moved here about a few weeks ago, and I thought I would start a channel which just pretty much shows how it is here every day, and hopefully I can go from uploading videos to just live streaming. So I'm originally from New York, and I moved. I moved from. I actually moved from Cartersville, Georgia, after having lived in Georgia for about 3.5 years. And I've just been living in Hawaii maybe about 3 weeks. So normally, okay, so first impressions. First impressions living here. The Big Island. I'm on the Big Island, which is called Hilo, and the Big Island, I believe, is the only one that really kind of gets a lot of rain. You can see that it's really cloudy today. And the past maybe week and a half, or 2 weeks, like, it's been okay. It's mostly been sunny during the day and warm, and then at nighttime it'll just pour. But one thing I didn't know moving here was that there's a rainy season. I knew that it rained. Like fairly regularly, and I thought that it was just something that was kind of spread evenly throughout throughout the year. But actually there are rainy seasons, and so maybe about 3 days after moving here, it started raining all day and all night every day for weeks. And when I say all day and all night, I mean, so for those of you who are on the mainland, in places like Florida, you know that, like, during the daytime it'll be sunny and warm, and then out of nowhere there will be like a 10-minute flash thunderstorm, and then it'll go back to just being sunny and warm. I kind of feel like this is common also for other similar climates, like Dominican Republic. Well, here I mean, I haven't had the chance to go to a rainforest, but I kind of think that the rainy season here is like closer to that of a rainforest. It's like, you know, every hour it might rain, like it might downpour. It might downpour, you know, like once or twice every hour. Um, and sometimes even more than that. And what I mean by that is that it'll downpour for 10 or 20 minutes and then it'll stop. And then 15 minutes later it'll downpour again, and then it'll stop. And then like another 10 minutes later it'll downpour again for a half an hour. So normally in the distance, there would be a beautiful view of I believe it's called Mauna Kea, which is the main volcano. The main volcano that's near here. But right now it's just pretty foggy. It looks like it's pretty common that, like, even if it doesn't rain all throughout the day, it's pretty much guaranteed to downpour like in the evening, during the rainy season. The rainy season being all of November and all of December, from what I'm told. And then I'm told that there's a little bit more of a rainy season around maybe April, May. You can kind of see I'm leaving a mall. I'm leaving a mall right now. Oh shoot, there's a movie theater there. I hadn't seen that before. Prince Kuhio Stadium Cinema. Still kind of a lot of undeveloped lots by where I am. Let's see, other first impressions. So I assumed coming here that the water would kind of the ocean water would kind of just be warm, like everywhere that you go. And what I will say is that compared to where I'm from, compared to the Northeast, compared to like beaches around New York and New Jersey, the water is warmer. The water is warmer, even in those places during the summertime. But depending on where the water is coming from, it can actually be quite cold. So in terms of beaches, the first one that I went to try to just to try to test out was just in Hilo Bay, and I went during like kind of a rainy day, thinking that, well, you know, like it's still pretty warm out, like the temperature really doesn't fall below like 70 degrees, or I don't know what that is. Is that like maybe 20 degrees Celsius? I don't know, like 18 or something. But yeah, it was freezing, and it's because the water that pours into the bay is from the water that pours into the bay is from rivers that basically run down from the mountains. So it's like cold water coming down from the mountains. So almost immediately, people suggested alternate beaches, and apparently, so I had the chance to go to another one, and apparently the water is warmer in all the beaches that are in all the beaches where the water source is just the ocean. It's just the ocean, and I had the chance to see some sea turtles, which was a little bit unexpected. It's been a while, you know. I'm kind of used to living in bigger cities, and used to just going in people's swimming pools, and so it's been a while since I swam. Since I swam like in the ocean, or in some place that just like wasn't a controlled body of water, and so it was just different, you know. Like it's funny, you know, like going to beaches up in New York and New Jersey. You know, you have to worry about things like hypodermic needles and mostly like a lot of garbage. But here I was just a little bit more concerned that like there might be some like large animals in the water. I mean, obviously it's safe, but it had just been a while since I'd sort of like swam in the ocean. Okay, right now it feels like I'm feeling like a gust of kind of cold air. And it feels like it could rain just about any moment. And this is typical. It's like it's the evening time. It's like it's approaching the evening. It's like maybe around 4. Maybe around 4 o'clock in Hawaii. So probably about 9 p.m. on the East Coast. One of the supermarkets nearby is called KTA. Apparently they've been on the island for a long time. I think they're owned by a Japanese family. Apparently they've been around for like 100 years. 100 years. Which is pretty cool for something family run. I'm getting a whiff of some char siu right now, which is for anyone who doesn't know or is not familiar, it's basically like a bright red barbecue pork. I mean, usually if you're going to like any standard Chinese restaurant and you order like barbecue pork rib tips, that's basically what it is. And I'm smelling it in the air right now somewhere. Like, it smells really good. In terms of the pandemic, another first impression that I've noticed is that you know, whoever was responsible for this, the response at the state level, definitely did a really good job. I feel like every second or third commercial that I see out here is about how to protect yourself from contracting the virus, and you know, how to just how to be safe at gatherings and those sorts of things. And there's definitely a difference in culture from where I moved from in Georgia. Where I moved from in Georgia, you could go into a big store like Walmart and see most people wearing face masks and face coverings, and then, you know, like here and there you'll see people who just opt not to, but it's common. Like, where I moved from, it was common to see people every day, all the time, going in and out of stores and public places without face masks, even though most people wore face masks and coverings and face coverings. But here, I've definitely, I mean, as soon as I arrived, I had definitely been immediately reprimanded. Anytime I'd even, you know, absent-mindedly began walking into like a public place, like a store, without a face mask. And so it's definitely a part of contemporary culture to be like extremely vigilant, which is good. Other first impressions. I would say average temperatures all year round fall between about 70 degrees and like 85 degrees or 86 degrees. just all year. And so it's apparently really easy for things to grow. Like, so it's not uncommon for people to have trees in their trees on their property that grow fruit, and also it looks like it's pretty common in general just to have like fruit bearing trees, you know, like star fruit and avocado, and like this fruit that's like related to lychees, but I forget what it's called. They're like bigger lychees. And they kind of just grow in the wild. Even where I live, there's star fruit growing naturally on the property. It looks like it kind of just grows all year round, like it just grows continuously. And then there's avocado growing up the block. Another first impression was the style of houses. It's kind of all the same. It's kind of all these houses. I'm not sure what the deal is, but I noticed it like for example, when I first went out to like more desert climates like Arizona, I noticed like all the houses were what's this material called? Like clay. Like they were like houses that like retained and released heat in accordance with like a desert climate. And then the houses out here were kind of like, they all have these tin rooftops, I guess. I don't know if it's just more resilient because it rains so often. Like maybe ceramic rooftops or like wooden rooftops would like really quickly become weathered out here. I mean, I remember one time I counted how many separate times it rained throughout a day. And I don't know. I think I lost count after maybe around the 13th time or like 15th time that it rained, and I just stopped counting. But yeah, to be someplace where it's like raining 15 separate times in a given day is just like, it's just like, wow. But my understanding is that it's only really something that like people who are new to the island comment on. Everyone who's from here doesn't really think twice about the rain. Where I am right now is it's a few miles, maybe about two. Maybe about 2 miles from the coast. From downtown Hilo, or Hilo Bay. All right. Just sort of a brief half an hour walk. That'll end my video for today.